In the last episode, you saw us go from Coffin Bay to Ceduna. In this one, we actually hit the Nullarbor and we make our way to the border town. We may actually be making some pudding as well. We are just leaving Ceduna Big 4 Holiday Park. Got a lovely little cabin for the night which kept us out of the cold and rain. We charged all the batteries for the GoPros, etc. and we're now ready to head out. The weather is starting to look a little ominous. I think that it might be a good idea to put on my wet weather pants.
Yeah, I don't want to be travelling with the wet balls all the way there.
Which is a struggle to do when I'm too lazy to take off my boots first. Even more so when I'm wearing all the gear.
One leg in, guys, one leg in. I'm freaking stuck. Next time I tell you on the pull over the side of the road to do this, it's time to f*** off. So we stopped over for a quick bite at the Ample Foodery, and we ended up feeding the seagulls. Let's just say that the food wasn't exactly the freshest, but all good. The seagulls are happy. So we just stopped over for a brief fuel up at the service station, and for the last 50 kilometers or so Darren has asked me to take the lead, but he also told me that I'm doing a piss poor job, and he sent me back at the back of the line, and he's reclaimed his position as leader of the group. I mean the saying on the intercoms right now that I'm a reject, and I deserve to be at the back of the line. These are the Nullarbor Plains, people.
So we've just stopped at the Nullarbor Roadhouse to fuel up and maybe get a couple of the customary stickers. Took a couple of photos outside the original Roadhouse, and while we were there taking it all in, we met Gary. Gary was on a Honda Varadero and he had a trailer attached at the back of his bike. I used to own a Honda Varadero many years ago, and to this day it's still one of my all-time favourite bikes. Anyway, I actually approached Gary on account of the Varadero and we started chatting. It turns out he was transporting the pudding from the Border Run event all the way from New South Wales. It's time to tell you what the Border Run and the pudding are all about. So here's a short history about the Border Run and the pudding. In 1976, two mates, Bear and Eric, both lived in Western Australia, although Eric had decided to move to South Australia. Not long before Eric left Western Australia, dinner was organised at Bear's place, and Eric showed up with a Big Sister self-sourcing pudding for dessert. Unfortunately, after a lot of drinking, the pudding was forgotten. Dinner was consumed and the two friends parted company. The following year, Bear and Eric decided that if they wanted to catch up and have a beer, they needed a place that was relatively close to both of them. As they lived in states that shared a border, perhaps the best place to catch up would be the newly built pub at the Western Australia-South Australia border. In 1977, Bear, Eric and a few others that heard about this and decided to join completed the first Border Run. Prior to leaving Perth, Bear located the pudding and decided to take it out to the border and have it for dessert after dinner. Fortunately, the pudding wasn't needed, and to this day, it still travels Australia by motorcycle. The pudding is auctioned off every year and all proceeds go to the Royal Australian Flying Doctors. Enough history though, let's go check out the Great Australian Bight. The Bight is generally considered part of the Indian Ocean. Its coastline is characterised by cliff faces and rocky capes, making it an ideal location for whale watching. The Great Australian Bight came into existence about 50 million years ago when the supercontinent Gondwana broke apart, separating Antarctica from Australia. So after 6 wonderful days on the road, we have finally arrived at the border town. So this is the carnage that the Nullarbor brings. Some of these cars have been involved in breakdowns or accidents. Quite a few of these cars that are not worthy of a rescue are brought and dumped here for their final resting place. This goes on and on. There are literally hundreds of cars, vans, trucks just rusting away.